If you're an entrepreneur who keeps wondering why you're working so hard and still not seeing the growth you know you're capable of, this episode is going to change how you think about everything. The problem isn't that you need better boundaries. The problem is that you've been setting the wrong ones. And I'm going to show you by the end of this episode, you're going to know exactly where you're leaking your power and what to do about it. So welcome back to the Live Your Yes Life podcast. I'm Liimatta. I am one of the co-founders here at Rise Leadership Circle. And as I said, today we are talking about boundaries. We are going to get into boundaries today in a way that you probably haven't heard before. And I know you've been told set better boundaries, to do things like stop answering emails at 9 o'clock at night, put your phone in a drawer, time block your calendar and guard your calendar. And that's not that there's anything wrong with any of these things. It's all good advice, right? But if you're anything like the entrepreneurs that I work with, you've tried all of that. And maybe more than once, and yet it still feels like your business is running you. Or maybe you still feel exhausted. Maybe you sometimes feel resentful. Maybe you find yourself saying yes when everything in your body is screaming no. I'm going to share with you why, and it might surprise you. Is because you've been setting the wrong boundaries or setting them in the wrong way. So here's what I mean. Most of the boundary advice out there is very focused outwards. It's about other people, setting boundaries on other people. How to get your clients to respect your time, how to tell your family not to interrupt you when you're working, how to say no to the friend who wants to grab coffee in the middle of your workday. And none of the information that's out there is necessarily bad advice, but it's incomplete. It's like the surface level stuff. And if you've been doing all that and you still feel frustrated, is because you haven't gone to the real source of the problem. And the real source is you. And stay with me, you guys. I don't say that to be harsh. I say it because it's the truth and because the truth is where your power is. Here's the thing, you guys, nobody is making you skip your morning routine or forcing you to discount your pricing or telling you to abandon the time block you set to work on your dream. That's really on you because you're the one who said yes when you meant no, or the one who picked up your phone when you said you wouldn't. You're the one who gave away the hour that you promised yourself. And once you see this clearly, everything changes. Because here's the good news in what I'm saying here. If you're the one who's breaking your own boundaries, it means you're the one who has the power to fix it and to change it. And the best part of all of this is you don't have to wait for anyone else to change. You don't have to convince your family to get on board. You don't have to train your clients or the world to cooperate. You just have to make a different agreement with yourself. This is the work that I teach my clients. And this is the work that I have done myself, that I have learned the hard way. And it is the work that has changed my life the most. So the boundaries that actually change your life, as I said, or your business, or especially your bank account, are not the ones that you place on other people. They're the ones that you set with yourself. So the question here isn't like, how do I get people to respect my boundaries? We all know that people do whatever they want, right? Adults behave however they want to behave. The question to ask is, what boundaries do I need to place on myself so that I can stay in my peace and in my power? I'm going to say that again. The question to ask is, what boundaries do I need to place on myself so that I can stay in my peace and in my power? That's the reframe. And when you get it, or I should say when you live it, it really changes everything. So I want to take this a step further with you today because I don't want to just give you a new way to think about boundaries. I want to help you understand what's actually at stake. So here's what I see happen with the people that I coach. They come to me and they're smart. Trust me, my clients are driven. They in some cases are beginners. In some cases, they are not beginners. Either way, these are women and men running 6-figure businesses, sometimes multi-6 figures and even up to 7-figure businesses. They have strategy. They have the work ethic. They are not lazy people. And yet something is holding them back. So what I found over and over again is that they're actually leaking their power. It's like energy leak or an energy drain. I want you to think of it like this. You could have the best offer in the world, the clearest messaging, the strongest sales skills. But if you're leaking power through weak internal boundaries, it is like trying to fill a bathtub with the drain open. It's like you keep pouring more in, more strategy, more content, more hustle, more getting it done, and it just never feels like enough because it is literally draining out the bottom. So a power leak is any place where you are consistently abandoning yourself. It's where you override your own knowing, where you break the promise you've made to yourself. It's anywhere that you give away your time, your energy, your peace, your authority so that you can keep someone else comfortable. Or in some cases, it's to avoid something that feels scary. And here's the thing that really makes this tricky. I know that most of you listening to this are incredibly strong in most areas of your life. You are not weak people, right? You've built real things. Some of you lead teams. Some of you maybe solopreneurs. You make hard decisions every single day. But I found that there is usually one area, sometimes two or more, where you keep giving your power away. And that one area, when it keeps showing up, it literally becomes the thing that is just like this invisible block to reaching your next level. So after years of coaching my clients through this, I have identified 5 boundary blocks that come up again and again. And I want to walk you through them right now because I think you're going to recognize yourself in at least one, maybe two, maybe more of these as well. Okay, so the first boundary block is one I call the Alchemist. And if this is your boundary block, you have a completely unique way of creating, of leading, of building. And when you honor that, you're completely magnetic. It's like you don't even need a 10-step strategy. You need space to let your own way come through. But somewhere along the line, someone handed you a blueprint, a course, a formula, and you abandoned your own way of being so that you could follow theirs because it was the quote unquote right way. Maybe it was something like, oh, you started posting daily or twice a day because that's what everyone says to do. That's the way to grow. Or you pushed through something when your body was telling you to pause. Maybe you are someone who needs a lot of spaciousness in your day in order to be creative, or in your week even, and you just don't give yourself the time and the space, right? So if this is you, you are, I want to tell you, the most prone to burnout of all 5 boundary blocks. And this is me, by the way. This was my biggest boundary block. I now know that it is my superpower as I've done this work. But, everything I'm saying here are things that I have walked through. And so it's kind of like, when you have this block, you keep trying to run on someone else's fuel instead of your own energy. And your boundary work is literally that. It's to honor your own energy and your unique design, even if it doesn't look like what everyone else is doing. Okay, I want to give you the second one. The second boundary block I see, I call the warrior. So if the warrior is your boundary block, you are a force. You have built things that other people only talk about. You're someone who shows up, you deliver, you get it done. Your capacity is extraordinary, but you have made self-sacrifice your identity. It may be that you carry everything because asking for help feels like weakness. Or it may be that you hesitate to invest in the support that you know would change the game for you because deep down you feel like you should be able to figure it out on your own. I often find people with the warrior boundary block feed off of the stress like a drug. It's like the adrenaline of being needed has become, in some ways, proof, right, that you matter. So your boundary work is letting yourself be supported, and it's not because you can't do it alone. You've proven that 100 times that you can, but because doing it alone is the thing that is keeping you stuck. All right, let's get to the third one. So the third block that I see, and I wanted to say this before I got into these, you guys, you don't have to take notes on this or write it down. I have created a free link for you. You can grab it on the show notes where you can take a quiz to discover what your boundary block is. And then I'm listing out all of these things here with even more details so you'll know exactly what to do about it. I'll tell you more about that at the end, but you don't need to take any notes to go back and remember this. I've got it all created for you already. Okay, so the third one is the Harmonizer. And if this is your boundary block, you are deeply intuitive with people. You're someone who does a really beautiful job at creating connections, and you just make people feel safe to be with you wherever you go. I find people with this boundary block are actually, when they're in their power, teams thrive under their leadership because they know how much you genuinely care. But I also see that when the boundary block is in play, often you've confused fitting in with belonging. You soften your message so nobody's uncomfortable, or you avoid the hard conversation with, say, a team member or a client or even a family member who isn't in alignment. And I often see that you discount your pricing because you would rather be agreeable than hold your value. Maybe you say yes when you mean no because the thought of someone not liking you feels unbearable. Your boundary work here is belonging to yourself first. It is learning that you can be kind and direct, right? It's learning that you can be kind and honest. And that's the type of leadership that is one of the things that will make your team or your clients or your relationships feel safe because they know that they can trust you to be honest, to be real, and to deliver it in a way. You can still deliver it in a way that's completely kind, but it's straight up and it's direct. The fourth one is the idealist. And if the idealist is your boundary block, when you're in your power, your vision is extraordinary. You can see a future that doesn't exist yet, and you feel it in your bones. You have the dream. You have the desire and the capacity to make your dreams real, but you don't let yourself have it. Maybe you're pouring all of your time and energy into a 9 to 5, or maybe it's into your family or some other obligation. Or the other thing I see happen a lot is that you're already running a business, but you fill your days with busy work instead of the moves that would literally take you to the next level. And either way, what I see happen is that the dream that you want most ends up getting whatever's left over. It's like you're trying to build on scraps, and scraps are not enough to build on. This is not a time management problem. It's an identity issue, right? Your boundary work is giving yourself permission to have what you want now and to see yourself as someone who is absolutely capable of building it now. And then last but not least, the fifth one is the catalyst. If the catalyst is your boundary block, when you're in your power, you're in motion. You've already taken steps that other people are still thinking about. You have ideas, you have momentum, you have a real desire to build something meaningful, but you don't fully trust yourself yet. When it's time to make the big decisions or to make an investment, to go out and do a new launch, or you just have to make a pivot, instead of trusting yourself, you tend to sort of pull the people around you. Maybe you ask your partner, your friend, maybe it's your coach, maybe you're in a Facebook group asking for advice, right? Not because you don't know the answer. The thing is you do, but you want someone to sort of co-sign on it so that if it doesn't work, it wasn't fully your fault. Your boundary work is self-trust here, right? It's a willingness to make the call, to own the outcome, and to just learn from it either way, to see it as learning. Okay, so now you probably did see yourself in more than one of these, and that's completely normal. Most leaders, as I said, have one dominant boundary block and a second one that shows up. You might even see yourself resonate in all 5. That's okay. That we're not here to judge you, to judge ourselves. This is just about being curious and noticing that it's completely within your control to actually shift out of the power leak and into your power instead. And what you'll notice as you go through this, when you download the quiz below, it's going to reveal to you what your dominant boundary block is. This is where your deepest work is. And here's why. I want to just talk to you about why this matters for your business specifically. It matters for your well-being, of course, like that's important too. But I want to talk just a minute about your actual revenue and your growth. So when you're leaking power, you are not able to hold the container your business needs you to hold. If you have a team, you can't lead your team with clarity if you're people pleasing. If you're ready to grow, you can't scale if you won't let yourself be supported. And ultimately, you can't build the business that you keep dreaming about if you won't give it a real seat at the table. It's like you can't make the moves and take the action you need to take if you're waiting for anyone else to tell you it's okay first. So the inner boundary work is the business growth work. It is not separate from strategy. It's like the foundation underneath it. And so this is what I mean when I talk about the divine profit formula that Kayla and I teach all of our clients. It's founded on the principle of 80% of what you create is about energetic alignment, and 20% is inspired action. So your boundaries are that alignment piece. And when you get that right, when you really stop those power leaks, this is when the strategy really takes off. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking like, okay, I need to know which one I am. As I mentioned, I built something just for you. It is a free quiz. It will take you about 5 minutes. You'll find out which one is your dominant boundary block. You'll find out where you're already strong, and then where you've got that one crack that is costing you the most. Plus, you'll get a personalized resource with a couple of journaling prompts and even a weekly power leak audit you can come back to again and again. So you guys, this isn't like a cute little quiz you take and forget about. This is a tool that you are going to want to save and you're going to want to keep working with it. I'm going to drop the link for you in the show notes. Go take it right now and then send it over to your business bestie because I promise you they need it too. All right, you guys, sending you so much love. Go find your boundary leak so that you can plug it and get back to building the empire that you are here to build. I'll see you guys next time.